Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream repair. Let's get some lights on. Let's get some text up on the screen. You guessed it, we've got more broken first-gen HomePods to fix up. 2 to be exact, and both with the same no power issue. So the first one that we are going to knock out is from a Mr. Raphael. And it's got no power. So let's take a look. First things first, we are going to double check our symptoms with a known good power cable. Yep, nothing happening up there, but we've got 4 pixies getting pulled from the walls, so something's going on inside. It's not like a blown fuse, that wouldn't pull any power. And based on that particular amount of power draw and our past experience with these, I would say this is most likely another one of those dead diodes. So let's crack it open, get to that amplifier, and find out. And if you're curious how you can do this repair yourself, what parts you need, what tools we use to do it, or my contact info so you can reach out to me and we'll get it fixed up for you, head over to the website nixfix.com. We've got the section for common issues, which is where you can find how we fix this stuff. We've got tools that we use at the very bottom. And my contact info, as well as other people around the world doing the same thing. If you don't live in the US, maybe somebody near you is doing the same thing and you can save on some shipping. I also recently threw up my new shop site, so at the top there's a link to go to the shop, and we've got refurbished first-gen HomePods for sale with fresh diodes and filters and a 1-year warranty, as well as some other spare parts that we've got available to buy. So, oh, nice, that came up. Oh, there we go. Very easy. Hello, welcome to the stream. Not sure I've seen your name around here yet. Let's get this plastic out. Got that logic board out too. Let's work on our basket. A little bit of rubbing alcohol to soften up that adhesive. Let's get rid of those covers so we can unscrew it. Cool, time for the fun part. welcome back. Afraid I don't have any HomePods to give away at the moment, but thanks for coming back anyways. Let's check out our subwoofer. Pretty good, pretty good. Smells nice and fresh. Let's get these rings out. It's always such a concerning sound, yeah. And it sounds a lot like cracking, but it's actually just... It's just the sound of that, this plastic here coming off this glue. Nothing cracked. Doesn't make it sound any less disturbing. We've made comparisons to it sounding like an Xbox 360 disassembly, if you're at all familiar with those. And also welcome to the stream, Rafa. Glad you could make it. And hope we can call you by that. That's all right. We are just about halfway done with yours now. Let's get this power supply. And then we've got to get that ribbon cable down there. Just gonna lift that lever up. We can pull this ribbon cable out. $14 screws for the amplifier because there are 7 tweeter speakers and they connect to the board through these screws, of course. And 1 positive and 1 negative connection for each speaker, so 2 screws per speaker, 7 speakers, 14 screws. Good times. I really like this design over the 2nd gen, where they did away with the screwing the amp into the speakers for their connection, and they went with classic wires for all of them. Probably easier to manufacture and cheaper. How are you satisfied with the E-screwdriver? Mars, welcome. Welcome back. I am very happy with my electric screwdriver. It's hard for me to give a really unbiased opinion on it because I didn't pay for it. One of our customers had sent us 2 of them, and they are fairly expensive. It's like $100 to $120 brand new. But it's able to tackle all of the screws that we really want the electric screwdriver to handle for us. The only screws that we don't really want are the very top ones and the ones for the amp here, for a few reasons. It's kind of clumsy, so we might, with the big electric one, we don't want to fumble around the board and accidentally break something off here, create more work for ourselves. But really, this is very handy for those longer screws, like for this and for the top basket, because there's a lot of them and they take a long time and a lot of effort to take in and put out. So this makes quick work of that and really saves our hands. So let's get up close. We're gonna hop right on over to the area where we most commonly see no power issues being caused. And there's our diode with a date code of 1748K on it. So that is our problem. We don't even need to bother testing it. We're just going to get that replaced. 2 date codes of these diodes that continue to fail. 1746K and 174AK. So if you see that diode while you're working on your HomePod and it still works, go ahead and replace it anyways, because it will fail on you for no good reason. Does anybody know the official name for the HomePod OS? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just HomePod version 17, yeah. I see it's always on the charger, so the battery can stand up to probably around 6 to 10 HomePods. Quite a bit of work, especially considering how much torque some of those screws need. But I find that you get just a little bit of extra torque and oomph out of this with it plugged in, so I just leave it plugged in all the time. Some solder stuck in there still. There we go. That should be it. Let's plug this in and check this out. Nah, I've been saying it a lot, but I don't think Apple will ever do anything about any of the issues with these first gens because there just aren't enough customers to make a big enough of a stink about it, unfortunately. Remember when you did the HomePod 2 and you said Siri sounded weird? Oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. That was actually a thing and they fixed it in OS 17. Wow. I'll have to maybe put the beta on one of my second gens and check that out. Unless they released 17 already. Okay. Let's see if it's working. I hear the squeaky squeaks. That's good. Yep, we've got power. Mars is unfortunately probably right. If it wasn't the second gens, they were telling customers to purchase an out-of-warranty replacement first gen even before the second gen came out, so that's always been their philosophy. So, this one powers up, sounds great, and it's got an excellent offset, so we can put it back together. Easy peasy. I wonder if they just like copied and pasted the exact same series sounds to the second gen from the first gen, and they just made 0 tweaks to it, and then people started pointing out that it sounded different, and they realized, and they were like, oh shit, we got to like tune it a little bit to make it actually sound right on this physically different speaker than the first gen. Who'da thunk? That's just my theory. My concern is it's even though I sincerely doubt Apple would ever do this, it's physically possible for them to just push out like a kill switch one day that just obliterates the usability of first gen HomePods and essentially forces everybody to buy second gens. Which concerns me, especially when so many people have paid extra money to have theirs repaired just to have Apple push out a software update that kills it. Aside from the whole risk of them breaking themselves every time you update it anyways. That's beside the point. No, that is actually kind of the point. Like, if they allowed you to restore the software to these in the first place, we wouldn't have nearly as many broken ones as we do floating around. Maybe I'll do a video revisiting the second gen and do a comparison side by side to the previous video. See if it sounds any different. Oh, it will sound different though either way because we've moved our setup since then. Damn. See, and that's why I think they never would nerf the first gen. Because you look at the Airport Express router, that thing is ancient. And it was already ancient by the time they pushed out that last firmware update that gave it AirPlay 2 capability. And to this day, they still work just fine as AirPlay 2 speakers. And even more, you can still connect and use AirPlay 1 speakers, you just can't, do AirPlay 2 stuff with them, which makes sense. But I like that it's all forward and backwards compatible with each other, like you can still use all of that stuff. I haven't touched a second gen yet, aside from our teardown video. Haven't had anybody reach out to me with any issues on them. I'm guessing usually because there's people have a warranty on them, so they're gonna do that before they hit me up. But you would think if there were issues with the second gen, people would at least let me know. All right, almost forgot the screws for the amp. Tends to happen when we talk. Not this time. We've done a lot of these. More than 1,000. That's I'll say that. Airport Express hooked up to the hi-fi. That's the way to do it. I've got a couple of those around the house like that. That used to be the way that I listened to music primarily throughout the house before the HomePod came out. Just a bunch of Airport Expresses thrown around the house with random speakers on them. Most of them hi-fis, but and like the hi-fi is like a surprisingly good speaker. It's not like audiophile, but it's really good. It's a very enjoyable listening experience. Very powerful. And very cheap. You can get used ones on like Goodwill's auction site quite often for less than $50 shipped. Buy a few rechargeable D-cell batteries. And there you go, you've got a portable boombox with rechargeable batteries. Still using Extreme as your main router? Nice. No reason not to, really, if it still works fine for you. And there's no reason for it not to work fine for quite a few people's use cases. Not everybody needs blazing fast Wi-Fi speeds that can't go through a wall.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Aren't we
I'm
all?
having trouble.
Beautiful. So, Rafa's good to go. Let's get Ben. I believe it's Ben. Let's see. Yep, we've got Ben's HomePod here, also with no power. So let's get their name up, shoot them an email. And check it out. Yep, same thing. Nothing happening up there, but 5 watts from the wall. So probably another one of those dead diodes. Let's crack it open and find out. Hand cramp. It'll like cramp up into this like claw position and I can't let go of the tool. Awful. We've got a whole extra set of screws here, so we're just gonna here's the current ball of adhesive. Oh, you mean like this dongle? You saw nothing. You saw nothing. The problem isn't the dongle. People have made the dongle. You don't even need a dongle. You can just solder a USB cable to the bottom of the thing if you want to. The problem, and what Apple needs to give us, is either access to the IPSW file or the firmware file that they already give you access to for all the other products. Even the HomePod Mini, you can download its IPSW for to restore them, but not the full-sized HomePod. It's the only thing, for whatever reason, they don't do that. So they either need to give us that firmware file or they need to give us a straight answer, what went wrong, and a solution for it. If it's just a software break, which is what their customer support is always telling their customers, there needs to be a way to simply restore it. We know it's possible. Oh, you can't buy that because it was not for sale. You cannot get the IPSWs, unfortunately. You can get the OTA files, but those can't be restored with. Those aren't full firmware files. Subwoofer is in great shape. I don't care what you post. Post whatever you want. Ah, yeah, they did take the USB port off it. That's pretty dumb. 1746K on this guy. Let's get that replaced. Just had to make them a mod real quick, and they can. I don't know why they weren't allowed to post that. Oh, I think I did see that. I think I did see that. I think what it led to was them dumping, if I remember correctly, they were able to basically dump user data, which is kind of like the whole goal of their whole business there, of course, is breaking into people's iOS devices to get their data for whoever needs it, for whatever reason. I'll have to read that and double check. I think there was even a discussion in our Discord server when that blog post came out. If it wasn't you that posted it in there. Will I be trying the Vision Pro? If I could ever get my hands on one, absolutely. But you won't catch me waiting in line to be spending any money on a dev kit anytime soon. Unless I became insanely rich overnight, but maybe we'll get our hands on a broken one sometime soon. If anybody wants to buy me the Apple Vision Pro to look at, I'd be more than happy to. I'll send it back if you want. One piece or multiple, up to you, your choice. It was already pretty wild to me that we were the first to tear down the second-gen HomePod and show everybody that. It would be absolutely wild if we were the first with the Vision Pro. But again, I don't have the money to swing for that. I'm trying to buy a house, man. That's the crazy thing about it, is there's so many people like you and me that are like, if I had that type of money. But then there's Apple that thinks there's enough people out there with that type of money. It's just crazy. And there probably are. They're probably not wrong. They aren't virtual monitors anymore. That's the thing. It's a floating program. Each program that you have is just a floating window. That's what I like about it. You're not restricted to virtual monitors anymore. You simply just move your open applications around and make them as big or small as you want. Your reality per se is the one monitor, the single monitor. Or I should say your field of vision, which reality is simply just your perception. So same thing but different. We don't need to get into the existential discussions right now. We are too small of a channel to be doing that. Come back when we've got more subscribers to have a heated debate in the comments. Hey, thanks. Oh. Hello, Tom from Argentina. HomePod with no base. What happens if I don't put the cap? That was, so you're saying like you're just gonna take the cap out and not put another one in there? I couldn't tell you what would happen, but I wouldn't try it, cause who knows what that could do. Caps have various roles in electronic circuits, from protection and filtering to coupling and, well, being a capacitor as like a tiny little battery. So I would strongly suggest trying to find a replacement and not trying to run it without one at all. You know, that would be it'd be really odd if you can't find anything matching the same spec for you in Argentina. I'll have to Google around and see if I can't find anything. If you can shoot me an email, if you haven't already, just saying, hey, I haven't been able to find any in Argentina here, Can you help me out? I'll see if I can't find any myself. I mean, worst case, we can ship a couple to you for a little bit of change, but and it'll probably take a few weeks to get to you, but that's better than not having anything forever. And you know, you can get creative too. Remember that you can use a slightly bigger or smaller capacitor if that's what you need to do, is get a different physical size. That's perfectly fine. What matters is the voltage rating and the capacitance. But yeah, if you can't find anything, shoot me an email. I'll see if I can't. See if we can't shoot you some if we can't find any ourselves. Rubbing alcohol in a white cloth. You should be able to clean that up, even if it's tomato sauce. Oh, if you can get your friend to bring the pod with him to Miami, then I wouldn't. Or if you want me to ship some caps to your friend in Miami, that's an option. Well, we'll see what we can do. Just let me know what you've got, and we'll work with you. That would be way better too, because then you don't have to work. So many things I ship internationally, and people understandably opt for the cheaper shipping, which could take up to 4 weeks to deliver. But like 2 or 3 times now out of the few dozen times I've shipped in parts internationally, they've just vanished. And of course, the cheapest shipping option that people choose doesn't have any sort of insurance, let alone a process to even claim that it was lost. So you just kind of have to eat it. So whenever I can avoid international shipping, that's the best. I actually just dropped off a display and ribbon cable for somebody in Australia this morning. It was the second attempt. The first one that I dropped off 2 weeks ago, like I said, vanished. Sucks, but it is what it is.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
And there you have it, folks. 2 for 2. We've got everything that showed up fixed today without a problem. So, if you're looking for more info doing it yourself, reaching out to me to get it fixed for you, or my shop where we are selling refurbished HomePods and parts that we do have available, check out the website, nixfix.com. Hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.